Hello, hello, beautiful people. Samara Stone here. Welcome back. Today's conversation, I'm recording this probably about 6 weeks before the beginning of Social Work Month 2025. Whoa. Now I want to take you back in the Wayback Machine because anytime I think about just the beginning of my career in social work, my mind always goes back to this wonderful woman named Maggie Martella. She was a marriage and family therapist that I did an internship with back in the 90s while I was still in my undergraduate. And one thing she told me in no uncertain terms is that if you're going to move forward with a career in mental health, you need a degree in social work. Now, you would think she was a social worker herself, but nope, she was a marriage and family therapist. But she understood the power of the social work license and the broad breadth that our training gave us and the capacity we had to show up all over corporate community settings doing all kinds of work. And she said, Samara, it will give you maximum options. Now, Maggie, she did a few things for me. Not only did she tell me the path to take with regard to my education in the mental health field, but Maggie owned a private practice. She was the first person to show me the Myers-Briggs test. She talked to me about insurance company reimbursement. She talked about cash pay practices, and she showed me how you could create a lifestyle and a business connected to a career in mental health. And I wish you could see today so many of the things that she seeded into me are a part of my everyday life right now in the way that I operate and the way that I teach others to build their lives and their careers. Now, Social Work Month has been around since maybe 1963. And if you could just imagine what the field of social work and what society looked like around that time, oh my goodness, there were so many big social issues that folks were churning and working through. And social work really speaks to a lot of the core values that are a part of this fight for freedom and representation, and really just to feel like we are respected and recognized equally across the board in communities, right? Social workers really look at advocacy as a part of the process of shaping society. And they're right. They're absolutely right. Now, over the years, I have had the incredible privilege of celebrating Social Work Month in a variety of ways. One time, I actually was invited to be the keynote for a social work conference in the Netherlands. Now, I did that virtually, and I actually should put a clip in here to show you all me speaking Dutch. I probably butchered it, but welcoming them to Social Work Month in Dutch. Hello, hello, and welcome to het grote ondernemers-event voor social workers. I have enjoyed speaking to people all across the world about social work, about our business of social work, and also about our growing skills to just touch all segments of societies, communities, and corporations. Several times I've hosted events, month-long events where we honor various social workers in the community. Sometimes I focused on entrepreneurship, I focused on education. It just really depended what the flavor of the month was for that year. Um, this year I have something in store, but I'll tell you a little bit about that in a moment. One of the reasons why recognition is important, oftentimes the work that women do, the work that people of color do, kind of fades into the background and goes unnoticed. But we are a huge part of the fabric of society. Now, I focused on women and people of color because that's the group that I live and breathe and identify with. And I am certainly sure that there are groups that you live and breathe and identify with. And that's the beauty of there being a Social Work Month celebration, so that all of us collectively can bring to the forefront the representation, the opportunity to recognize and celebrate people doing amazing work all over the field. Now, we have so many different roles in social work. We're healers, advocates, entrepreneurs, in education. Research. I mean, just think of the broad spectrum of things that social workers are doing. And many times we're doing things that represent a first for the field, right? The first social worker to do this, the first social worker to do that. But how often are we actually shining a light on those accomplishments in the context of what it means to be a social worker in the mental health space, right? I believe that when we are validating our experiences, when we're showing the way that we're being innovative and progressive in the way that we're touching lives, it not only helps us to celebrate ourselves, but it creates visible role models for future generations of mental health professionals. So, just like when Maggie whispered to me, young lady, if you're moving forward in mental health, it's social work you need to consider. Our efforts, our work, our collective way of showing up in the field whispers to younger generations that there's possibility for them and a future in the field of social work as well. And so I am here for bringing unique perspectives and building networks and doing all of the things that create greater infrastructure in our field, right? I'm really, really here for that. So that's why this year I am beyond excited to talk about the Visionary Awards. It's a part of a large partnership that I'm doing with Morgan State University. And I am excited because I know for certain that you know a social worker, it could be you or a colleague that's done some amazing work in the field. And they're kind of an unsung hero. Well, this is the opportunity for you to sing loud and proud and let them know that you see them. You see the wonderful work that they do. So, let me kind of explain to you how the process goes, and then I'm going to tell you how you can help. Okay. Right now, you can visit samarastone.com/nomination, and I'll make sure there's a link in the description so that you can find it easy. But on that form, there's a place for you to nominate a social worker. Now, you can nominate yourself because I'm all about self promotion here. If you know you're doing something amazing, get yourself on that ballot. You can nominate a colleague. You can nominate as many people as you want. It's not like one nomination and you're out of there. You can nominate as many people as you want. The purpose of the nomination is so that we can start to see who are the people, who are the pool of candidates that we need to be considering to celebrate in these 5 categories. So let me tell you about those categories. The first is the business boss. That's obvious. This is a person whose business in social work is having an amazing impact. We have a brand, a standout brand. This is someone who, through whether it's their visual brand, their online presence, something that they're doing, their tone of voice, just the way that they are expressing themselves with regard to branding and marketing has given them a real voice in the community. We have the creative arts because there are plenty of social workers who are showing up in the fine arts space, or they're authors, or they're designers, clothing designers, graphic artists. I mean, we're everywhere, musicians, right? We're everywhere. If you know a social worker who's fusing talent and art into the work that even an actress, I know a social worker who actually creates skits to highlight social issues. There's all kinds of ways that that creative arts category can show up. The next category we have is putting the social in social work. These are people who are building like community engagement, whether they're doing it in an online space or they're doing it in their local jurisdiction and towns, or they're doing travel experiences that are, bringing people together. These are the folks that are building community in their social work space. And last and certainly not least, advocacy and action. These are the social entrepreneurs that are out there doing things to make a difference in things that are important to us all, right? Look at that broad breadth of the way that social workers are showing up. So I know as I was going through those categories, you were thinking about somebody who fit into one of them. Please go nominate them now. This is your opportunity to let them know that you see them. That you see them. Now, the nominations process is going to go through to the end of the month of January. And then next month, we're going to start the voting. Now, I don't know if we'll do it immediately the first week or the second week. We'll see kind of how all of the nominations come in, but we are going to be voting during 2 weeks in February. And during that voting process, everyone who's been nominated, we're going to gather up the votes and figure out who is the standout person in each of those 5 categories. Now, you're going to have to stay tuned for how we intend to celebrate them in March. I can't just give all the goodies away in the first conversation. So I want to hear from you. If you know a social worker that has changed your life or opened up a new way of seeing things in your professional life, shout them out here. Nominate them. Share this video. Share the link with somebody who you know knows a social worker. Help me get it out there. Tell a colleague who's breaking berries in the field, I'm going to nominate you, right? Let them know. And if you don't let them know, don't worry because I will be letting them know if you give me the information I need to contact them. All right. So I hope that this gives you a sense of what we have in mind. Don't miss out on an opportunity to uplift someone who's making a difference, right? Because a lot of times people do what they do because they want to do it, because it's a part of who they are, but it feels good for folks to be seen. So let's celebrate the heart, the soul of social work by coming together this social work month to do something amazing for one another. So, let Social Work Month be an opportunity for you to reflect on your own career as well, to be thoughtful about what are the ways in which I'm showing up professionally, and what can I do to continue to grow myself so that I can have a bigger and broader impact. Okay. Look, I am a huge advocate of seeing people thrive personally and professionally. And you know that if you've been around any of my content, right? Today is no different. Social Work Month and celebrating it is about our personal well being and our professional accomplishments. So don't forget to vote. Take good care, and I'll see you next time.